Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for more One Piece. And I cannot wait to see what happens in this particular chapter. Wow, got quite a few people here. I see you, Cohagen. I see you, CDs. I see you, DJ. I see you, Hybrid. Let's go ahead and get it. Yo, peoples, Qushu 92 here. You know what? Real quick, before I continue with this, I've noticed that I didn't start doing like the finger point whenever I say my name until like a little bit when I started to really get into reading the Whole Cake Island arc originally back in 2016. And since then, it has become instinctual for me to point myself when I say, Qushu 92 here, but Qushu 92 here. Welcome back to One Piece. I don't know if it's just me, but the ending of the last chapter has me on edge because the last words we get in the last chapter, 1178, is literally Emu saying 5 elders. I'm planning to leave for a time. I'm going to leave the Holy Land for a time. And I'm like, huh? What you mean? So, let's stop beating around the bush. Let's go ahead and get to chapter 1179. How y'all gonna get me out of my chair? Just from the title. I beg your pardon? Hold up! Hold up! Wait a minute! Wait a minute! How are you gonna get me out of my chair before I even read the title? Chapter 1179, Norona Emu Descends. Norona Emu. Reader requests. Let's bring things down just a little bit. Reader requests. Ace and Otama and Yamato leading boar piglets on a hike down a wetlands path. By now, Yama wants to travel. Norona Emu descends. Ah! And we're continuing from Marijwa! And then, so we just begin. Ah! How do we start this chapter from right there? Ah! I'm sorry, I'm yelling. If I got any brand new people here, my apologies. Great Emu! Did I hear that right? Sacred Marijwa, the Hall of Power. And it shows all the elders, save for Garling, who isn't in the room. You don't mean to go to Elbaf, do you? Please, don't do this. You mustn't descend to the lower world. Then Garling walks in going, do not be so smug and secure. Do you think that the Holy Land can remain safe forever? Garling. With Shamrock's return, it seems that the situation is quelled, but the lower world's plan to starve us out still continues. Dignity and power will not fill our stomachs. What can we do on our own? Okay. What we need right now is the military might to keep the rest of the world under our thumb. And then there's the former Navy headquarters. Former Navy headquarters? Are you talking about Marineford? You're not talking about the new one. No, former. Which ones are we talking about? Are we talking about Marineford or are we talking about the regular one? Gotcha.
Darling, where's all the food? This isn't very celestial dragony.
And it's York. I warned you about this, York. The Holy Land is under a food shortage, and one of the things that can break the siege is the Mother Flame. If you want to live like a celestial dragon, then hurry up and produce energy for us.
But I'm hungry!
Power plant, Labo phase, Marijwa.
This wasn't part of the deal!
Needless to say, your original form, Vegapunk, is one of the rebellious forces arrayed against us. Consider this a way for you to take responsibility for yourself.
Ah!
Gotcha. And then she hangs up. It's been one disaster after another. And it all started after the arrival of Nika. And then all the other elders get quiet. Is it coincidence or fate? Be that as it may, Great Emu. You should not leave Pangaea Castle. We can send the Navy admirals from headquarters to Elbaf. And then we get Ethan Baron. Mind you, that was Jew Peter speaking, but now we get Ethan Baron. No. Just count the number of situations we're dealing with right now. There's too much going on. And then Warcury stands up. Then we should head into the field again. And then Emu speaks. This is no longer coincidence, Warcury. Arrogance, sloth, detachment, pride. Casteth away these things at once. All is preordained. And then it cuts to all the significant people that have caused change in the world. Rox, we'll be back. Roger, you'll have to search the whole world. And Shirahoshi, it seems Neptune had a daughter. Shanks, they stole the devil fruit? Harold, what is in Elbaf? Then Loki, we found out who the pirate captain in the mist is. He is Loki, Harold's son. Whitebeard, Whitebeard protected him. Who is it? Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy. Okay, are we good? Okay, we're good. It kept repeating me saying like, Whitebeard protected him? Who is it? Monkey D. Luffy. Who is that? And it shows Blackbeard when he was at Marineford. Marshall D. Teach. It's listing the D's. Like it shows Rox. It shows Roger. It shows Shirahoshi. Poseidon. It shows Shanks. It shows Harold. It shows Loki. It shows Whitebeard. It shows Luffy. It shows Blackbeard. There's so many people. There's so many people. And then King Cobra. Nefeltari D. Lily. Joy Boy. Davy Jones. Still you continue to torment Mu. I desire Lily. Emu desires Lily. Mind you, we already knew that there was something about Lily that Emu wanted, or the reason why Lily's photo was the only one amongst, Blackbeard and Luffy's, because remember, back then, when we were looking at the old bounty posters for Blackbeard and Luffy, they were all cut up. They were all diced up. But Vivi's, why'd I keep calling her Lily? Sorry. But Vivi's photo was the only one unscathed. I desire Vivi. It all began long before this. Emu's leaving now. Emu is leaving now. There's already an abyss circle underneath Emu, as they say it all began long before this. Emu is leaving now! It all began long before this. Great Emu! The Holy Land I leave to thee. But, Great Emu, in the lower world you are... And then Garling, we do not have the right to stop the Great One. And then Mars, but still. Then Warcury, if Great Emu leaves this castle. Then Ethan Baron, no need to say it, we all know. Then Jew Peter, it is by the Great One's design. None of us can prevent it. And Emu just straight up disappears. And then the air above Marie Joie just fills with clouds. Like clouds all of a sudden. Have we ever seen a cloudy day above Marie Joie? There's one now. Then we cut to Elbaf, New World.
Haradin, Stanzin!
Western Village, Sun World.
Look at this. One of the demons was trying to put himself together again, so...
Ah, darn it, not again! And he's still alive?
Look, it's like a magnet. It's scary.
Not half as scary as you, and it's Somers. You said your name was Gerd? I'll remember that. You better watch yourself because I'll personally see to it that you experience a miserable death, you wretch! D-Train, good to see you. You should look at this too. And it shows Somers' heart. And Zoro's there with Harudin. His heart is steel? A steel heart? Does that mean if we destroy this, they won't be able to go back to normal? And then Somers, yo, you guys brought this up. While his heart isn't mechanical, his heart is steel. Y'all brought this up during the reflections in March. Y'all brought this up. What if y'all were not far off? It may not be a cog, but it is metallic. And the moment Zoro says, if we destroy this, they won't be able to go back to normal. And Somers immediately gets terrified at the thought. By the Walrus School. Usopp, Brook, hang in there. They've got broken bones. Maybe I can cyborgerize them. Where's Chopper? And, it shows Usopp and Brook. They're just kind of, off on their being tended to by Frankie. Chopper's elsewhere, and Jinbei's looking for Chopper. Then we get Killingham, who's apparently been strung up. His body parts have been strung up on trees. I'm going to personally remember your name, Sanji, for revenge! Now say mine! And then Sanji just takes a puff and goes, I forget. Then we cut over to the stone, we cut over to the ice block that Gunko's body's still inside. And then we get Loki. Why is the school frozen?
It's not.
Oh, wait, who's saying this? Oh, it's Lily going. It's Lilith. It's Lilith going.
It's not. I merely sapped all its heat energy.
School food's frozen solid. Don't even taste good.
Food. Gotta give some to Usopp and Brook.
Not until you get back to normal. And it shows Luffy still suffering the withdrawals of Gear 5.
Hey, Loki. That bad guy you froze. Is she dead?
It's a flash freeze. It won't be fatal. But until this guy can melt but only this guy can melt the ice. Don't worry, they're not going anywhere. And then it cuts to Nami. It cuts to Nami, who sees some strange weather phenomena in the distance. Mind you, Zeus is still doing the job of putting out all the fire across Elbaf.
Huh? What?
And then a gigantic black blast comes out of the ground. Ah! What's that? That ain't just black smoke. And it starts popping up. It starts popping up all over the place. Actually, no. I don't even think it's coming up out of the ground. It came down from the sky. Hold on. I'm being summoned. I'll be right back. I know we're in the middle of it, but I'll be right back. Hold tight. Okay, I'm back. Ozzy, good to see you. Okay, so food is downstairs. I'll eat it after this chapter. It's in the microwave. But it looks like these black blasts just come down from the sky. What's that? That ain't just black smoke. And it starts hitting all over Elbaf. Huh? Look at the sky! I'm sorry, what? Above Elbaf is a ginormous magic circle. And it's covering all of the major western village connected to Aurus Castle. A magic circle? Everyone, come quick! What's all that rumbling about? Don't worry, Nami, I'm with you. And then, while these black flames from this magic circle that's in the sky reaching down, it starts producing music. And everyone can hear it. And all of a sudden, the houses start Whoa. Bro, this is like a more evil version of Big Mom using homies. The houses start getting shadows over the tops of them and start turning into actual functioning moving mouths. And they start moving and they start singing. Ah, the houses! Why? Am I dreaming? And everyone is running because the houses start to move on their own. The trees gain horns and wings and start moving on their own, dancing to this weird music coming from this magic circle. Even the forest! Is this someone else's power? And it's like da-da-dun, da-dun-dun, do-ro-ro-ro-ro-ro-ro-ro, da-da-dun, da-dun-dun, do-ro-ro-ro, do-ro-ro-ro. And then one singular blast hits Aurus Castle itself. It hits Aurus Castle. And then everyone, it's a massive blast of conquerors because all the children start to get knocked out. Those with strong will all can tell this is conquerors right now. That's colors. Oh, that's Zoro, who's holding on to Chopper, actually going, that's color of Supreme King. And then it cuts to Luffy and Loki. Luffy is still out of commission. But Loki goes, was that from the castle? That's the same hockey from before. And Luffy, still emancipated, still looks on. Inside Aurus Castle, the throne room. And we have Emu. Who is inside using the same magic circle that Harold created years ago, is in the throne room, but apparently is coughing and huffing and puffing and apparently coughing up blood. And still breathing heavily. And then crouches, kneels down, and just as wings start to come out of their back. And then Aurus Castle itself just implodes. Like the whole throne room blows up. And then we get Dory, Brogy, and Chief Jarl going, who's that? And then the whole atmosphere. The whole atmosphere changes. The trees and the houses that were taken over, they all start smiling. And then we have Killingham going, Great One? You mean in person? Someone's up there on top of the castle! And No, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. It's been good. I hope y'all all enjoyed me reacting to One Piece, but this is where I bow out. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm sorry. We're still not done with this chapter. We have someone on top of the castle. This singular man, apparently. Man! In this incredibly dark-looking appearance, with skulls and stripes and long hair and curved horns and what appears to be an awakened flame around them, but it's not the same we see around Luffy, it's not the same we see around Lucci or the elders, and standing there just with shadows all around him, just constantly emanating conquerors. We see him in his full appearance, creator of the world government, one of the first 20, power. It doesn't even have a type. It's simply called the Devil's Fruit. Everyone has devil fruits, but his is simply called the Devil's Fruit. King of the world, Saint Nerona Emu. We see Emu in their full appearance. I what can I even say, bro? Oda, literally, what sort of chapter to reveal on Easter Sunday? What kind of day to release this chapter on? I told y'all there was something going on with Emu's power. What if it's beyond devil fruits? And now we're finding out that his devil fruit is just simply called the Devil's Fruit. It's not like a Aku Aku no Mi. It's not like a demon fruit. No, his is simply just called the Devil's Fruit. Everyone has devil fruit powers, but his is called the original. Wouldn't it be crazy if his is the first ever? Ladies and gentlemen, we see Emu in their full appearance. This is essentially Oda giving us Frieza's final form. This is Emu's appearance. Dude has an entire giant staff that has like it's a jagged blade, and then it curves out at the end. And even the back of the staff is giving off the same flames and smoke as that of Awakened Zone users. Another thing is that around his, and mind you, this is, I can't believe that we are getting the full appearance of Emu. And you want to know what? You hear people say like, oh, it's really Lily. It's actually Lily. Emu is Lily. And here we have someone who does not look like Lily, does not look like a Lily at all. And my thing is the appearance of Emu, the way he looks, we can say he now. The way he looks, that super long hair, the symbols and everything all over his body, his appearance, And also, the flames that come off of him that we see with Awakened Zoan users is essentially, instead of it just being like flame-like, there's literally symbols of eyes all over it. I don't know. 15 people watching? Ladies and gentlemen, y'all don't know just how much this has subdued me. I would be screaming loud. I would be screaming loud, but family is here and I don't want to disturb them. So I need y'all to just deal with the fact. Ravi, it's good to see you. I need y'all to just deal with the fact that I'm just gonna talk calmly now. Captain, did you notice the eyes within the black smoke around him? Oh yeah, I brought it up. That's what I brought up. Y'all know how they did the whole big musical theme of the elders showing up? And it had like their own theme as we saw the elders in their yokai states, in their mythical forms. I feel like we're gonna have an even grander one when Emu shows up in the anime, because Emu he has his own theme music. Before he even appeared, there was music heralding his arrival. He has his own theme music. Yonko Joe, I screamed in your voice when I read this chapter Thursday. Yonko Joe, bro! Emu has personally showed up. I thought it was going to be like, I'm heading to the lower world. I didn't think he was going to be heading to the lower world straight to Elbath. Emu literally says, well, if you working as a proxy, using other people as a proxy isn't getting the job done, then perhaps I was also joking around when I said, like Thanos, fine, I'll do it myself. You guys said it too. Didn't realize he was actually gonna just go straight there. Okay, let's just go over this chapter. So we begin this with Emu right after. Okay, I gotta check out Roger. I need to know how Roger reacted to this. I noticed that skulls on his clothes are the same as Ace's locket. I feel like it's just a skull motif. Emu definitely gonna buff the god knights in there. By the way, when is the anime coming back? It's out today. The anime has returned today. But we begin this chapter with Emu after Emu said, I'm leaving the Holy Land. And all of the elders, save for Garling, is all like, no, you mustn't go down to the lower world. Garling's the only one who's all like, don't be so smug and secure. Do you think that the Holy Land can remain safe forever? With Shamrock's return, it seems that the situation is quelled, but the lower world's plan to starve us out still continues. Dignity and power will not fill our stomachs. What can we do on our own? And I told y'all the moment that Garling sat down in the chair, I remember to this day, the words I said to you is that Garling seems like the one person who is more likely to actually start to do stuff outside of the elders, who just seem to be very comfortable in their lazy boy couches in the room of power right now. I told you he would be the one who's all like, yeah, y'all sitting here on y'all laurels, but it's time to do some work. What we need right now is the military might to keep the rest of the world under our thumb. And then there's the former Navy headquarters. And then, of course, we get York, who's, complaining that she ain't got enough food, but given the fact that there's a food shortage, York ain't able to eat her fill like she used to when she was she was working with the rest of the Vegapunks. So now she gets to suffer the consequences. Ooh, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions, I'm gonna be a celestial dragon. Yeah, we ain't got no food. What you mean we ain't got no food? Before you showed up, the revolutionaries kind of burned down our supply. We'll get some more. Well, they keep sabotaging all our food coming in. Bruh, you chose the worst possible time to betray Vegapunk, because you just betrayed him in the same time frame as the very nation you wanted to be a part of running out of food. And you're literally the avaricious member of Vegapunk. So you constantly crave it. So now you rolling up here and you're gonna have no choice but to work on an empty stomach. This is what you wanted. The devil will tell you how to get in trouble, but won't tell you how to get out. Needless to say, your original form, Vegapunk, is one of the rebellious forces arrayed against us. Consider this a way for you to take responsibility for yourself. And then we get Garling again. It's been one disaster after another, and it all started after the arrival of Nika. Is it coincidence or fate? Yet another reference to fate here. Be that as it may, Great Emu, you should not leave Pangaea Castle. We can send the Navy admirals from headquarters to Elbaf. No, just count the number of situations we're dealing with right now. There's too much going on. Then we should head into the field again. This is no longer coincidence, Workury. Arrogance, sloth, detachment, pride casteth away these things at once. All is preordained. And then Emu just thinks of every single influential individual. Rocks with I will be back. Roger with you'll have to search the whole world for the One Piece. Shirahoshi being born. Shanks. Harold. Loki. Whitebeard. Luffy. Blackbeard. And Cobra as well. Joy Boy. Davy Jones. Still you continue to torment Moo. I desire Vivi. It would now that we see that that Emu's a dude, this dude desires Vivi to be his next queen. What in the world? Huh? It all began long before this. Great Emu! The Holy Land I leave to thee. But Great Emu, in the lower world, you are... We do not have the right to stop the Great One. But still, if Great Emu leaves this castle, no need to say it, we all know. It is by the Great One's design. None of us can prevent it. And then Emu just teleports over to Elbaf. Also, we find out that there is truly a permanent solution to the Holy Knight's immortality. They apparently have steel hearts. And if you destroy the steel hearts, you apparently destroy them. Because the moment Zoro speaks on it, Somers immediately gets terrified at the prospect of him actually dying with his heart out. And while this is going on, Gunko is still frozen. Killingham is hanging by ropes with Sanji overlooking. Loki's eating some food, albeit it's frozen food, so it doesn't even taste good. And then Nami sees like different weather patterns, and all of a sudden, because I incorrectly thought that it was blasting up from the ground, but no, it's blasting down from the sky, and these different 5 points of fire, just black fire, just come down from the sky, and they all encircle the entire village and Aura's castle. And it starts producing music, and I want to say evil music. Evil demon music. And then it starts to make the houses transform and gain life of their own. The trees themselves, they start swaying. This is literally an even more evil version of Big Mom saying like, how much longer will it be till we have the tea party? Like, you know, at the beginning of Whole Cake Island in the anime, what's her name who does the English voice for Big Mom? Wonderful job, by the way. Think that, except it's all of these creatures, all of these trees and houses under the effects of this giant circle in the sky. They're all dancing to this music, and it keeps going da da dun, da da dun, do ro 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 ro. I can't even do the Nika dance because this is Nika, but we go like da da dun, da da dun, do ro 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 ro, and it keeps doing that until there's a massive explosion that happens at the point of Aura's castle. Emu shows up and forcibly transforms themselves from the silhouette that they were into their true appearance. Creator of the world government. One of the first, I can't believe this, one of the first 20. This is the first chapter of One Piece we get in April, and Oda says, y'all thought I was firing on all cylinders with the last one? Joke's on you, I still had another round in the chamber. Power, the devil's fruit, king of the world, Saint Neruda Emo! So, now, Let me see y'all comments. Let me read through everything you guys said. Okay, yo, what's up? Let's go. Welcome back. Happy Easter. Buckle up. Buffering. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. OBS decided to just conk out on me. Am I late, Ozzy? No, you weren't. It is a hint. That's a huge summon circle. Bruh, it's covering an entire village. Q eyes wide. Goodbye, Silhouette Coon. Hello, Emu, the evil of the world. And I said it was gonna get bad. That was an understatement. And Emu is a pretty boy. The drums of oppression versus the drums of liberation. This chapter, and we're on break. This chapter is on par with the reveal of Gear 5. This is big. The buildup is insane from the beginning. I got a feeling Skypiea has a role in this. How you figure? Another question, just how big is Emu? He's standing atop a castle for giants. A castle for giants. Yeah, you're not wrong. Emu's is literally on top of this building that giants are supposed to be, that giants live in. And mind you, when you see this panel on the last one, he looks as tall and as big as the window for one of the towers that you can look out of. Emu has shown himself to be to the size of a giant, just sitting on top. Just sitting on top of the one tower that wasn't destroyed, because the top of Aurus Castle has been just completely obliterated. Only one tower remains, and Emu sitting on top of it as if he's like Eneru. He literally has Eneru vibes right now. Just chilling with his head in his hands. And mind you, another thing that I did not mention is the fact that apparently doing this transformation appears to take a lot out of Emu simply because he has blood coming out of his mouth. And he has multi-ringed eyes. He has, well, curved horns going straight through his hair. He's got that same, well, I'm not even going to call it like the ring of fire that, the floaty, cloudy ring of fire that most awakened Zoans have. His is literally just like it's basically like Eneru's drums that he has on his back. It's essentially, bro, wait a minute, hold on, there's way too many similarities to Eneru here, hold on. Both individuals use a long trident-like weapon. Both individuals have like big baggy pants and go shirtless. Both individuals like to rest themselves while they're perched up somewhere. Both individuals have a big old halo-like thing around their backs. There's way too many similarities between Eneru right here. Except Emu, I mean, essentially looks like he's just essentially a giant demon. Not only that, but around him is what appears, I can't even tell what this is. He also has like that trademark pointed arrow-tipped tail as well, but he also has what appears to be, I can't even tell if this is part of his shadow, part of his power, but it's like this long fabric that's just swirling around him, swirling around his weapon, swirling around himself, and he's got black clouds around him, and he's constantly emitting Conqueror's Haki. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the 5th of April in the year 2026. We have made it, everyone here, we have made it to the point where we have witnessed the reveal of one of the big bads, one of the final big bads of One Piece, of the entire series. Literally, the ever-looming, overarching antagonist who has lurked in the background for 20 years, and not until literally last year, or I believe the year before last, did it get revealed that Emu existed. Over the past almost 25 years that this series has been going, we have now reached a point where the ruler of the world has been completely and fully revealed. No more silhouettes, no more shadows, completely shown. Now here's the thing. We just get an outside view, but we get his entire body, and we get a close-up of his face, and the way his hands look, the way his head kind of looks, but we don't get like a full-on profile shot with great detail like we have yet. But this is enough. Ladies and gentlemen, let me get back to what you guys have said. Let me go back to what the rest of you guys have said, because y'all have said so much. Let's see. Funny how Oda gives us the Devil on Resurrection Sunday, the day our Lord and Savior rose. Ain't that crazy, the coincidence? Us Christians celebrate Easter for the resurrection of Christ. And on this particular Resurrection Sunday, we have the most evil, most demonic character in all of One Piece finally revealed. The coincidence is beyond crazy. So he ate and created the devil fruit or turns things into a devil fruit. Here's the thing, CDs, we don't know. It's just that out of every devil fruit that exists, they've always been described as a devil fruit. You know, Hito Hito no Mi, human fruit, chop fruit, string fruit, quake fruit, dark fruit, kilo fruit. What's another? Glint fruit, mag fruit, chili fruit, heat fruit, like flare fruit, smoke fruit. They are all just described by what they are. But with Emu, his is literally just called the devil's fruit. He doesn't have a model. He doesn't have a type and I told you with Emu's power, it was so varied that you couldn't even name this one specific type because it encompasses so many different things. With Emu's power, he is literally just the devil. Emu got that Big Mom musical stuff with the houses being like homies singing and vibing with the drums of oppression. Yep, I brought that up too. And the cloud has eyes on it. Do they? Do the clouds have eyes? No, the clouds themselves don't have eyes. But if you mean like the big ring, the ring around him, then yes, I was literally about to ask. I wonder if he was the first captain. Did you notice the eyes with the black clouds around him? Yep. Emu kind of feminine. Yeah. The only remaining silhouette characters we have yet to see in full reveal is just Nika and Joy Boy. Of course, the other main protagonist will be the last to be revealed. We are in endgame now. Yeah, he has a devil tail. I heard he's a Lunarian. Heard who's a Lunarian? If you're talking about Eneru, then that's a no, because Lunarians have wings. Oh man, once this is animated, it's going to break the internet. I just got to say it. Oh no, yeah, sorry, that was obligatory. Let's see, Emu definitely gonna, by the way, when's the anime gonna be back? Today, I think Usopp called his bluff and he wanted to say, oh, really? I guess he was supposed to have wings, but I guess it failed, which makes you think he is a Lunarian, the first Lunarian. The elders refer to Emu as they or them, so I wonder if what we're seeing now is one of the first 20 kings. I wonder if the rest of them are a part of him as well. Wouldn't it be crazy if Emu actually is an amalgamation of every single one of the first 20. But then again, creator of the world government, one of the first 20. Not just like the first 20, but just one of them. So what if Emu's the only one who gained immortality and has been ruling ever since? Because Emu does not strike me as the kind of dude that would, share power. So what if Emu found out immortality, and then just all of the rest of the first 20 kingdoms just kind of, Okay, I need to get it. Also, I gotta say, there's only one godly anime character that looks like a demon that I support, and Emu, you ain't him. Also, not to be into power scaling, but elders recommending to bring an admiral. Definitely, admiral is stronger than an elder, but seriously, Emu was like, fine, I'll do it myself. How you like that, York? Is Emu above the celestial dragons? Yes, Emu is literally the ruler of every celestial dragon. Emu is the ruler of the world. And guess where the celestial dragons live in? Think of it this way, CDs. All the celestial dragons basically have to listen to the 5 elders. And who do the 5 elders listen to? This guy. Anyone else feel like Garling is going to try and take the throne for himself at some point? Probably fail, but definitely try. I don't know if Garling is the type that with that much ambition to try and take the throne for himself, but he is the one most likely to throw hands in order to get stuff done. I said this months ago. Eneru is definitely cosplaying Emu from Eneru's back ring, Eneru's pants, Eneru's staff. Eneru sees himself as a god, and we know it. Skypiea skippers in the mud. Here's the thing. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be crazy if the depiction of Emu in this visage is is what prompts Eneru to make him look the way he does. Because Emu is far older than Eneru. Eneru, literally just like in his, what, 40s? In his 40s, I think, possibly? But Emu has existed since the first 8 centuries ago. Let me see. Emu got some kind of symbols on his cape. I can't make it out. Yeah, I can't make it out either. It's weird, though. I can't tell. Also, it was noted that Akuma was written differently from all the other devil fruit names. Can't remember the exact note, but it was written in a different style of Japanese. Yonko Joe, thank you. That's what I'm assuming. The symbols on Emu's cape kind of look like a symbol of the covenants. Kinda. But who knows if Eneru knows about Emu, or maybe he had some information that connects to Emu. Also, I told you that heart wasn't normal. I swear I said it looked metallic. You said it looked mechanical. Yeah, you said mechanical. But I was all like, it doesn't look mechanical because you see like the ventrals. But we can say that at least it's metallic. You said mechanical. I will roll back that stream right now, and then you said it was mechanical. You didn't say metallic. You said mechanical. But now we know the hearts of the Holy Knights are rendered mechanical. There has to be a time limit for Emu. He can't stay away from Marijois long. I don't know. Didn't Vegapunk say that devil fruits were manifestations of the dreams of others, but by Emu's power simply being called devil's fruit? Now I'm a bit confused. Exactly. Because here's the thing. What Vegapunk said was literally just a hypothesis of his that many of us kind of took for fact, but he was just like, I hypothesize. You know what a hypothesis is, right? An assumption that has maybe some probability of possibly being real, but it's not bona fide fact. It's just a thought of you taking facts that you know and bringing them all together to a hopeful conclusion. It was a hypothesis, but we truly don't know the true nature of devil fruits and where they came from. And now, that whole thing from Vegapunk saying, like, I hypothesize this, what sort of dreams would make this fruit if that was the case? Emu's power is simply just called the devil's fruit? Not a, but the? So many questions. Well, if Lily was afraid of Emu because of his appearance, of his horns, that's a very superficial reason. That's a very superficial reason for Lily to be afraid of Emu because of his appearance. I'd say Lily wanted to get away from Emu because of his ambition. But stuff like that, it's kind of inconsequential there, CDs. DJ, they also just stalled until the clock runs out, despite how risky it is. He's probably Katakuri size. Dude, Katakuri is only 16 feet tall. Emu is the same height as a window of a giant's building. You know, a home for giants that easily eclipse Katakuri in size? So no. Kind of feels like it is easier that the God Knights get defeated easily and the Straw Hats are kind of celebrating, but here comes Emu arriving. Much bigger threat. Much bigger threat. You're right. We haven't even gotten to the summary yet. I'm still reading your comments. Thank you guys for being patient with me. Let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if Emu is as tall as Whitebeard as a minimum, or maybe the size of a giant that's on the smaller scale height-wise. He has Rinnegan, but I think the Whitebeard size is more likely. Now he caught it. Eneru, white bandana. Emu, white hair. What if Emu related to Lunarian? He got white, he's got a white tat on his face like King. True. That'd be crazy. Emu's cape has the Covenant tattoo motif. Let's see. The world government invested on a new chair, but Mars still chose to stand up. D-tabs, die-tabs. Ain't that crazy? They got room. Saturn ain't sitting in that chair no more, but Mars he's got to have the strongest legs. For a person who can turn into a bird, he somehow has the strongest legs out of everyone in the Godosei, because he's the only one that chooses to stand up at all times. The only time he sat down was when he was in the room by himself before everyone teleported in. That was the only time he sat down. And he was just sitting down as all of the others got forcibly teleported back, thanks to Joy Boy's Haki. Speaking of Joy Boy's Haki, the individual that fought Joy Boy is now showing up when Luffy is incapacitated. He's not in Gear 5 anymore. Everyone's chilling. Luffy ain't even back to full strength, and Emu just showed up. Our main character isn't even fully healed, isn't even fully back to his regular state, and the boss, the final boss, the Sephiroth level boss, has just shown up. So in Void Century, Emu, Davy Jones, and Joy Boy, current era's Emu, Blackbeard, and Luffy. I thought it was 27 years. I don't know. I didn't look it up. Yes, that's right, I did. I definitely also said it wasn't normal. I'll take that, though. Yeah, I'm sure. Also, it's crazy that we first learned of Emu's name in 2018, and look where we are now. In the before we even hit 4 digits for One Piece, it was back in 2018 where we learned of the name Emu. And now, on the 5th of April in 2026, we finally see his full appearance. The thing is, we just got Emu's full reveal, and Oda cannot just nerf Emu. I'm concerned on what is going to happen next chapter. If Emu isn't nerfed, he could just destroy all of it in Elbaf. Emu sure loves eyes. He has eyes on his Hagoromo smoke scarf thing, and has... These ads just keep popping up at the bottom. I'm trying to read. And has an eye hand on his tattoo. Okay, so I fully caught up to everybody. Thank you for being patient. Now you already know what we about to do. Oh, I'm being serious. I gotta tune in to Roger, but that's gonna have to wait until later because I also have to react to the return of the One Piece anime, but that'll be after I eat. And that'll be a little bit later after I eat, because after this, I'm gonna take a break to eat the food that was brought to me before we get started with Sakamoto Days. And if you guys are a little bit patient, I hope to see you over there as well. But let's go ahead. Buffering? Or was this a message that you sent me, Kohagen, earlier on that Discord decided to send to me just now? I hate that. It gets on my nerves. All right. Let's check out the summary for chapter 1179. How long is the summary? Ooh, okay. Long summary! Summary time! The 5 elders realize Emu plans on going to Elbaf by themselves and try to convince them not to. But Garling walks in and chides them for their arrogance in assuming the Holy Land will remain secure, admitting that while Shamrock's return has stabilized the current situation, the Revolutionary Army's starvation tactic is working, and they were fools to think it wouldn't. Instead of maintaining their pride and dignity, they need the most powerful military they can create to keep the world under their control. But his conversation is interrupted by York, who calls to complain about the lack of food. Garling reminds her that he warned her about the situation, and if she wants it to stop, she needs to hurry up and reproduce the Mother Flame. York continues to complain, but Garling tells her that as one of Dr. Vegapunk's creations, she needs to take responsibility for his actions before hanging up. Garling says that ever since Nika showed up, Marie-Joie has been plagued with constant disaster and wonder if this is an act of fate or mere coincidence. Regardless, the elders try to change Emu's mind, suggesting they send an admiral instead, but Nusjuro says they can't with what trouble they currently have. Workuri then suggests they themselves go, but Emu denies this, saying they must cast away their arrogance, sloth, and pride, for everything that is happening was already set in motion. All the while, they think about Rox's promise to return, Roger's execution, Shank's theft of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, Shirahoshi's birth, the knowledge of Loki's devil fruit, and the existence of Monkey D. Luffy and Blackbeard. Emu demands to know why Nika and Davy Jones continues to make them suffer since all they want is Vivi, as they prepare an abyss to travel to Elbaf. Garling says they can't stop them, while the other 4 reluctantly acknowledge. In Elbaf, Gerd brings Somers, who is cut in half and restrained with rope, and shows how his separated parts are trying to link together to Harudin, calling it creepy. Goldberg shows Somers' heart, which is made of steel, and Zoro wonders if destroying it will kill Somers for good, which scares him. By the Owl Library, Frankie looks after the unconscious Usopp and Brook while Jinbei tries looking for Chopper. Killingham is also tied up and his parts hanging from a tree by Sanji, who tells him that he will remember his name so he should say his, but Sanji says he forgot. As for Gunko, the ice she is encased in starts to crack. See, I knew I wasn't crazy. The ice around Gunko actually starts to crack while she's in there. Because there's a doom effect over it, and she's it appears like she's starting to break out. Meanwhile, Loki, Luffy, and Ragnar go to the school as well to get some food and are surprised that it is frozen by Lilith's invention. But Loki complains that the frozen food tastes bad. Though Luffy, despite his withered state, tries to get food to Usopp and Brook. Before he eats food, he wants to get food for his friends. That says a lot about Luffy, considering that he would always try to get food first, but right now he's trying to get food to the both of them so they can heal up, even though not everyone heals up by just engorging themselves with food like Luffy can. Let's see. Luffy asks Loki if Gunko is dead in the ice, and he explains that she isn't, but only Ragnar can thaw the ice she is stuck in. Off in the distance, Nami sees something, and in an instant, 5 pillars of black energy erupts above Aris Castle, creating an abyss circle above it. The energy emitted brings the nearby houses and trees to life as they start making noise. A pillar of black energy then appears straight in the middle of the castle, unleashing a wave of Supreme King Haki that knocks out several people. Imu appears at the summoning spot and falls to their knees and coughs up blood, but still, Imu crashes through the roof of the castle to everyone, even Somers and Killingham's shock. As Imu sits on top of the castle, finally shown in their full form, it is revealed that Imu is in fact Norona Imu, one of the first 20 and founder of the world government, and possessing the power of the Devil's Fruit. So, chapter notes. The situation in Marijois was stabilized by Figureland Shamrock's return, but the Revolutionary Army's food blockade is still active. York has a lab in Marijois and is continuing work on the Mother Flame. Norona Imu travels to Aras Castle via an enormous abyss that emanates. Literally, the Abyss Gate itself emanates conquerors. Emanates Supreme King Haki. Surrounding buildings and trees come alive and manifest demonic faces. This process causes Imu to fall to his knees and cough up blood. Loki confirms that Manmeyer Gunko is alive and claims that the ice can be melted only by Ragnar. Imu is officially introduced as Saint Norona Imu, the king of the world and one of the first 20, and wielder of the Akuma no Mi. It's not Aku no Mi, it's just purely Akuma no Mi. Seemingly, a Zoan devil fruit that Imu has awakened. So, the Akuma no Mi. Really thought this was April Fool's, this chapter wasn't real, we really got Imu's full reveal, right? The Akuma no Mi. Now let me see if I can pull this up. Yeah, and it shows Imu in their state. Now, of course, we don't have the official name of it, but of course it's called the Akuma no Mi. Is a mythical Zoan type devil fruit, and this is just placeholder for right now until we fully find out truly what it is. That allows its user to transform into a devil and access numerous demonic abilities, which they can also bestow upon others. The fruit was eaten by Norona Imu. Now, like I said, this is just placeholder, but it does kind of seem likely. Etymology. Akuma is a Japanese word for devil or demon. This ability's name is unique among devil fruits as it is a single 3-syllable word rather than a 2-syllable pattern repeated once. The name is homophonous. Yeah, homophonous with the Japanese term for devil fruits in general. The only difference is that Akuma is spelled using katakana instead of kanji. To distinguish this fruit's name from devil fruits in general, the Viz translation has rendered it as the devil's fruit. It is the only officially translated fruit name to utilize the possessive, which the no particle in the Japanese name is for. So then, of course, we have all the transformations, the strengths and weaknesses, the abyss, the covenants, the techniques, everything. This is the only devil fruit in existence where it is not like a version or a particular type. It is just the original OG version. king of the world. I do like the joke in one of the SBSs where someone asks if Mars is always standing because he forgot to do his homework and yelled at by the teacher, and Oda just ends up ending his response with, sure. Crazy, we're actually getting a devil fruit. We're getting a devil fruit. Elbaf reveals we got Loki, Shamrock, Herald, Rocks, and Emu. It's crazy how we got all the reveals of people that have been hidden and talked about. We now have them fully revealed. Saint Nerona Emu, a name we first heard about when Ivankov was speaking to Sabo when Sabo got back from the reverie. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Everything we've seen Emu do was either through possessing a person's body or manipulating people who are attached with covenants. So now we have Emu personally showing up. And I feel like we are about to see and I know we have a whole bunch of devil fruit powers that are just incredibly destructive, incredibly powerful, and incredibly versatile. You know, you got the Quake fruit, and you got, Logia fruits in general. And then, of course, you have mythical type devil fruits, such as the kind that, Kaido uses, Luffy uses, Sengoku uses, all these different types of mythological Zoan types. And now we have the ruler of the world, which I want to say, if we go on break, I'll completely understand. But we have the ruler of the world rolling up, and his power is the devil's fruit, which would probably be one of the most powerful devil fruits in existence simply because of everything that Emu can do. Wait, Nerona is Emu's family name, right? So does that mean in English it'd be said as Saint Emu Nerona? Not necessarily, because didn't Ivankov say like there was a name called Nerona Emu in the English dub as well? Because I'm pretty sure Ivankov brought up Emu. Hold on, let me see. So this makes me wonder if Dragon or Blackbeard does attack Marijois because it's invulnerable right now without the king of the world, Emu. If you're talking about if it's vulnerable, you gotta remember that the 5 elders, along with the rest of the Holy Knights, is there as well. So it's not like just because Emu has left that it's defenseless. However, the way that the elders kept saying, like, Emu, you should not leave Marijois, I feel like there's something else going on there that requires Emu's presence to be in Marijois. Either it means that the elders won't have that same amount of strength that they have, which I highly doubt because covenants work across long distances, even as far as Elbaf, when Harold had a covenant. So I don't think it's gonna leave Marijois just vulnerable just because Emu's gone. I highly doubt that. But there is something that the elders themselves were so against of Emu leaving that we never got the full explanation of. So we've yet to see it. Whether it was Emu coughing up blood after forcibly, teleporting to Elbaf, because apparently that requires a lot of power. And it appears that it's very, very taxing on Emu's body because Emu just straight up coughed up blood after teleporting the entirety of himself over to Aris Castle and surrounding the entire Western Village in a magic circle. Whether or not this means that Emu intends to teleport the entire Western Village and Aris Castle away, because all of it falls within that circle itself, remains to be seen. But I don't know. That's the terrifying thing. That is the incredibly terrifying thing of Emu just leaving and already there on Elbaf. Everyone is just now resting after turning all of the giants back to normal and getting the fires under control. This Emu full reveal reminds me of Kaido's introduction. Look, I can't wait to find out when what all is about to happen with Emu in this state. And mind you, they said they within the long summary, but this straight up looks like a dude. He ain't got no shirt. He basically dressed up in the same type of garb that you would see Eneru wear, but he also has a big old cape over his shoulders like you would see Momonosuke or Odin wear. So he has like a big cape over him, what appears to be like the symbol of the covenants he gives to those that serve him over his shoulders, holding a big giant staff of some kind. You know what? I'm gonna pull up Emu, see what type of description we have now. This is crazy. Norona Emu. I can't believe that we got the final boss of One Piece fully introduced, but I've carried on for far too long. I'm sorry. It's just that it's been a busy day and there's so much going on, but this chapter is crazy. Definitely one of those people being female emu agenda, but I'm still happy and very hyped to see his design. It looks sick and cool. See, people were on that whole, like, emu is actually actually Lily, and they were changed, and it's been that way the whole time. So now, that whole voice that we had from Emu, when it gets to this point, I can't wait to see how that goes. So, let me see here. Go to appearance. Let's see. For most of the series, Emu was only shown as a silhouette. Volks, what's going on? For most of the series, Emu was only shown as a silhouette, with even their gender being unconfirmed currently. They possess a humanoid figure similar in size to a regular person, with a hand resembling a human's and sharp almond eyes with red irises, each having a thin ring around the pupil. In terms of attire, Emu dons a crown that has 4 sharp, incredibly tall spikes on the top, and an extremely long robe that flows upon the ground a great distance behind them. In the anime, Emu's voice has a distorted echo to it. Once Emu arrived on Elbaf, they discarded this form and revealed that they have a gentle-looking face with long white hair, with dark skin, similar to the Lunarians. Buffering? Are we buffering? Was it buffering? Okay, I'm gonna leave it be. Hold on, let me rewind it back. I didn't see anything. I'm looking at the playback. Nothing skipped. Okay, it buffered a little. Okay, we're good now. Going back to his appearance. Once Emu arrived on Elbaf, they discarded this form and revealed that they have a gentle-looking face with long white hair and dark skin, similar to Lunarians, with 2 curly horns, long, sharp black nails, and circuit-like tattoos all over their body that eventually form eyes on the back of their hands. They wear a cloak over their muscular torso with a covenant symbol on it. So you guys were right. A furry belt over striped baggy pants, similar to Usopp's Elbaf outfit, and pointy shoes, similar to Doflamingo's. They have a long arrow-like tail decorated with skulls, similar to the one on Salome, and a large trail of black clouds draped over their shoulders, similar to awakened Zoan forms, except it is full of red eyes. They wield a long spear with a curly blade that is decorated with a similar black cloud. This is where we're at, and I'm gonna end it here. This is where we're at with One Piece, ladies and gentlemen. The ruler of the world, the king of the world, the creator of the world government, one of the first 20, wielder of the devil's fruit. Not a devil fruit, but the devil's fruit, has appeared on Elbaf because the Holy Knights were unable to pull it off. Emu possessing Gunko wasn't able to pull it off. So now the only option is to fully go Thanos and say, fine, I'll do it myself, and is now in Elbaf already. And Loki, chilling, tired, but chilling, gaining energy back. Luffy, not even fully recovered from the use of Gear 5. And the final boss of One Piece is here. Has shown up. Changed the entire area around the Western Village and Aurus Castle into basically like demon houses and demon trees, all singing and dancing to his own theme music. Emu's nose feels like Nico Olvia's nose. It does have like an apparent like a line going across it, like the bridge is pronounced, but I don't know. Who knows? There might be a connection between Robin and Emu, and we don't see Robin this chapter. Robin is Devil Child, and Emu is straight up Devil. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It would be crazy, but I'm not gonna go out into left field. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been my reaction to the newest chapter of One Piece. Emu is here, and we see him in all of his stature. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for what Emu's about to do in order to fully subjugate the Giants, because the Holy Knights weren't able to do the job. So what is Emu going to do? Oda cooked? Nah, Oda did not cook. Oda prepared us a Thanksgiving feast on Easter. You know how you go to your mama house after church? Well, for those of you who go to church, you know how you go to your mama's. For those who do, you know how you go out to your grandma's house or back to your mama's house after church, and y'all have like the big old spread of food that everybody eats. It is literally that. It's literally that. It's a big old giant spread of food. Eat till you burst levels of food. It's like the giant mound of food that what's her name? The one of the members of CP0 Squad 0 in Bleach. You know, the lady that uses up all of her Reiatsu in order to create a giant mound of food. I forget her name, and she's on Bleach Brave Souls, and I have her, and I forgot her name. But yeah, we have reached the point where Oda has stopped cooking and has just been full on sending out feast after feast after feast after feast after feast. And this is literally one of the pièces de résistance of what he has shown us. This is what he said he was preparing for. I'm going to spend the next couple of months finalizing the final saga of One Piece. And now we get the final boss. The final boss. The big bad himself. Bigger than Blackbeard. Bigger than any other overarching villain within One Piece. Emu is the big overarching bad guy. And now we finally have his entire appearance. This was a wonderful chapter. But I'm going to have to watch everyone else's reactions, especially Roger's. The final boss, like in video games? Yes. Yes. That's why I said final boss. So, for me, this was a 10 out of 10 chapter. It's been a while since I even gave like a numerical rating for a chapter, but this was a 10 out of 10. This was a bona fide 10 out of 10 chapter. And it looks like we'll probably be more than likely be going on break. Let me double check with Viz. Yeah, they haven't updated it yet, but more than likely this feels like this is going to go on break. What a chapter to go on break from. The ruler of the world has been revealed. This was a good chapter. But I'm done. I've kept you guys here for way too long. Sorry it took me like an hour and 16 minutes to get through just this one particular chapter. But I'm happy that I'm happy to be alive to read this and react to this with all of you. I'm happy. I'm incredibly happy that I was able to share this moment with all of you. If I have anyone new who's watching for the very first time, hi, how are you? I'm glad you decided to stop by here. You could have gone anywhere else, but you decided to be here, and I greatly appreciate you. But I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and eat my food, and then once I'm done, react to Sakamoto Days, and then after that, check out Roger's reaction, and then after that, react to the return of the One Piece anime. So with that being said, to everyone here, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Even check out my membership and Patreon because I am and even be sure to check out my membership and my Patreon because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. Have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples.